The nominations were announced yesterday. HBO's Succession led the pack with 25. Apple's Ted Lasso and HBO's White Lotus are tied for second with 20 each. Neither one of you have seen The White Lotus yet, have you?
No. What is it about?
I think it's about all of these random people from all different walks of life that all go on vacation at this resort.
White Lotus.
And then what happens at the resort. Yeah. They're all, each one of them, of course, it's kind of a little bit wacky. Each one of them has their own situation going on there. But, some of you'll really get a kick out of it, I think. It's a little dark at times, but very funny.
Okay.
So Squid Game picked up 14 nominations, including Best Drama Series. Several cast members got acting nods, too. Chadwick Boseman got a posthumous nod for Marvel's What If. So did Jessica Walter for Archer and Norm Macdonald for Nothing Special. Stranger Things nominated for Best Drama Series, but no actors were recognized. How can you have Best Drama Series and none of the actors
get my God.
Something, you know?
Well, yeah.
Doesn't that feel like a major injustice?
Especially that one actress there that plays...
Sadie Sink.
Right.
Plays Max.
Max, yes.
So Selena Gomez also got... I know, he's acting like he knows exactly what he's talking about.
It's my favorite thing to do on this show.
I know. Fake it. So Selena Gomez got left out, even though Only Murders in the Building is up for Best Comedy Series, and both Steve Martin and Martin Short were nominated.
Yeah.
Other snubs, Yellowstone came away with nothing. And in their final seasons, Blackish and This Is Us were locked out of everything but the technical categories.
This Is Us got so many over the years, though.
Haven't they had enough? Isn't it somebody else's turn?
I do think that goes into the thinking, though. Like, there's only so many awards you can give out. And, damn, these are all so good. Like,
yeah.
All right. I'll take care of you next year as long as you keep up the good work.
Yep. Other people are also noticing absent Bridgerton, 1883, Moon Knight, Pachinko.
You surprised at Bridgerton?
Gaslit. I don't know. There's some good acting there. There's some good writing. I mean, it's Shonda. It's Shonda, for the love of Pete.
Right.
Dave Chappelle's controversial Netflix special, The Closer, got 2 nominations. One for Best Variety Special and one for the director. Okay. So, the Emmys, September 19th, NBC and Peacock.
Well, Chris Hemsworth doesn't just play a hero on the screen. You could argue he is one in real life. Yeah, Natalie Portman was saying that Chris refrained from eating meat before one of the kissing scenes in Thor: Love and Thunder because she's vegan.
How nice is that?
And she didn't even ask him to. He just did it to be a nice guy.
What a nice... And that's like a huge sacrifice for him because being all big and beefy like that, I'm guessing he's eating meat probably every 45 minutes.
Yeah, he kind of strikes me as a carnivore. But Natalie said, yeah, he's really nice. She said the day we had a kissing scene, he didn't eat meat that morning because I'm vegan, and he eats meat like every half hour. So that was really thoughtful of him, and he's just a very nice person.
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
Yeah, Thor co-star Tessa Thompson was in the interview with Natalie when she said that, and she added, I didn't even know he could go without eating meat. He's just like eating bison in the morning. So that was really sweet of him.
You guys ever had bison?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, at some point, yeah.
It's different.
Hey, we got to take a break here, but more to come, including Cardi B and Offset and that really interesting birthday present they gave their 4-year-old. We'll talk about that, plus the rest of the day's E-News.
The Emmy nominations came out. Now, I've never understood why they announced the nominations so damn early. Who are they, the cops? It's like, open up! We're here to praise you for your outstanding work in a comedy ensemble. The most nominated show this year is Succession, or as I like to call it, Whitish.
Yeah, that's Anthony Anderson from the show Blackish, who was in for Jimmy Kimmel last night, which is the only late night show that wasn't a repeat. But there he was talking about the Emmy nominations, which we were just talking about a little bit ago. And we mentioned how Blackish, which is in its last season, didn't get any nominations except in the technical categories, I think.
Yeah, that and This Is Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, same story.
Right.
Yep.
But they, again, I think both over the years have gotten quite a few awards.
They've done pretty well.
Pretty well in the past.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so Cardi B and Offset, their daughter Culture, just turned 4 already.
This many.
Yep. So they did what every parent of a 4-year-old does. They give them cash.
Cool.
So how much cash do you give a 4-year-old on their 4th birthday?
Oh, man.
40 grand?
A couple of $2 bills?
Oh, yeah. You know, you joke. I think I really legit did.
I know. I think I got a lot of $2 bills.
Yeah.
So they gave her 50 grand in cash.
Cool.
50. So in a video posted to Offset's Instagram story, Culture could be seen holding the entire wad.
That's awesome.
You can hear Cardi ask her what she's got, and Culture says, "It's a ticket." For those of you, yes. For those of you who don't know, a ticket is slang for $1 million.
Oh.
So Offset quickly corrects her, saying, "It's a ticket. A ticket is $1 million, girl. That's 50. Say 50." And she does.
Well, that's pretty great.
That is something.
Man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Cardi B released a new song yesterday, but we can't play it.
Oh, no?
Nope.
Not at all? Not even a clean version?
I don't think there is a clean version.
Oh, that's too bad.
I think we're out of luck.
Okay. So sorry. Let's see. What else? I'm just kind of going through things here, trying to find something that... Well, Elton John is doing original music for the upcoming The Devil Wears Prada, the musical.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, there's a little preview of that.
London Fashion Week is cute, and New York is awfully quaint, and Milan likes to believe it still sets trends.
This is what he's going to do in retirement, you
But
realize.
Fashion
Yes.
Week in Paris, darling, nothing can compete. Everyone who's anyone attend. For me, that
Anyway. Oh, wait.
Was that the Cowardly Lion or was that Elton John?
It did sound like
It did sound like it could have
Cowardly
been a
Lion
little
a
bit.
little bit.
Yeah.
For me, that the lyrics are so brilliant because it sums up. I've been to enough fashion shows in my life to know that it's the excitement of when you see something new and you see something great, and you're there and you can feel the excitement within the crowd, and you know that something special is happening. It's like going to see a rock concert.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Elton.
Thank you, Elton.
I love Elton John.
I do too. Well, this is something the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico is honoring its 2 most famous meth dealers with bronze statues.
Wow.
I know. Walter White and Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
Nice.
So the show's creator, Vince Gilligan, had the statues commissioned back in 2019, and he's now going to give them to the city because that's where the show takes place. They will be displayed in the local convention center.
I didn't know that show took place in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque, babe.
Wow.
Yep. There'll be a ceremony on the 29th of this month, and Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul will both be there, along with some other special guests.
I don't remember Albuquerque being portrayed in a very attractive light on that show. But the times that I drove through there on cross-country trips, I always thought it was a really kind of cool-looking city.
Yeah.
Where you just sort of like descend into it, surrounded by desert, of course. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just sort of wild. Didn't you go? Or, you went to Santa Fe.
Santa Fe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But they issued a statement saying they're glad the statues are going to be inside, so they'll be, quote, protected from pigeons depositing their critiques on our heads.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
Okay. Rob Riggle, who I just think he's a great character actor. He's one of those guys that, when you see him, you're like, oh, I've seen him in a million things. He was also like Phil's arch nemesis realtor competitor in Modern Family.
Okay.
He's dating a former contestant and professional golfer who appeared on his show Holy Moly. Here's a clip of when she appeared back in 2020.
Kasha lies 2 on the green of Dragon's Breath. Wow! What? Kasha K with a sensational win here on Dragon's Breath.
Look at that.
One of the putts of the night.
That was a truly amazing putt going over 2 graves.
So the pro from Poland, she is a talent. She is off to the final round. Kasia K.
Yeah, and she's a knockout. And so Rob is dating her now. And that was when she appeared back in 2020 and made a great shot. Obviously made a big impression on him. Yeah.
Now, you remember Uma Abedin. Anthony Weiner's wife.
I'm a fan. I like her.
You like Uma Abedin a lot.
Yeah,
well,
big time.
She has upgraded.
Really?
She's got a new boyfriend.
Okay.
You're not going to believe who Uma Abedin is dating.
Who?
Bradley Cooper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
She's moving on. Moving on up.
Yeah,
Moving
I could
on
see
up.
why he'd be attracted to her.
Yeah. She's very pretty, very
Stunning.
smart, obviously. She reminds me a lot of George Clooney's wife, just in all things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same kind of vibe there.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the e-news front?
Nope.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Summer's here. You don't want to be running that AC nonstop. Keep that cold air inside with new energy-efficient windows from Universal Windows Direct. Hi, it's Tim. Call for a free estimate. 513-755-1800.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Here's something. I had the show on CBS, and for 30 years, I didn't have to worry about clothing because somebody would always have clothing. And I didn't care. I put it on. And it was always a tie. I'll tell you something. 30 years, I get pretty good at tying a tie. I'm not wearing a tie tonight. Did you notice? Yeah. Since I've not been wearing a tie, here's what happens. Every time I try to knot a tie now, I keep braiding my beard. You like living in California? The last thing I want to kid about is the drought. How many of you are thirsty right now? It's just crazy. And here's the real drought. It's been 3 weeks since we've had a Spider-Man movie. Did you know that? Did you have to go through security and we're patted down and stuff? Yeah, we don't have security. So you were just patted down by someone, apparently. No, they have to check IDs, and I apologize to you, but they had to check IDs. And you know why they had to check IDs? They have to make sure none of you are Will Smith. That's why they're checking IDs. That's it.
And Travel and Leisure put out its annual list of the best U.S. cities to visit on vacation, and Charleston, South Carolina is number 1, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Charleston. You ever been?
No, I have never been.
Great
food.
city. Yeah, phenomenal food. They say it's got the perfect balance of, quote, Southern charm, knockout food and drinks, and walkability. It is a great little town. A lot
of history.
Very historic city to walk around. Yeah, that's for sure. And again, the food is exceptional. That low country cuisine. Their top 10 cities are. So Charleston was number 1, followed by New Orleans, also a city of great food. Santa Fe came in at number 3, Jen. Look at that. Savannah, Georgia, another one of my favorites. I love Savannah. Honolulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else is there to do in Honolulu besides hit the beach?
Now, have you been to Hawaii?
Not yet, no. It's on my list.
Is it on your list?
It's a someday list.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Hawaii I can see, but the city of Honolulu, what's going on there besides the beaches? New York, Chicago, Alexandria, Virginia. Don't know a whole lot about Alexandria. I got a ticket for accidentally cutting off a cop in Alexandria, Virginia many years ago. San Antonio, Texas, and Boston, Massachusetts rounding out the top 10. They also ranked the best international cities, and their top pick is Oaxaca, Mexico. Oaxaca. It's pronounced Oaxaca. It's spelled Oaxaca. And according to the phonetic pronunciation here on this article, it's pronounced Oaxaca.
Oaxaca.
Yeah, 2 more cities in Mexico also made the top 10. So did Florence, Italy, which we loved. Istanbul, Turkey.
I would love to visit there. Love to.
Yep. I have a friend who's married to a Turkish gentleman. And Osaka, Japan. Yeah,
Sounds
Japan's
like some
on my
fun
list,
places
too.
to go. I was going to say, yeah, I thought that was on your list.
Yep.
Where are you going next?
I don't know yet. We're going to go somewhere in 2023 internationally. We just haven't really figured out where yet. Maybe it will be Japan.
It's in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also like to visit Vietnam someday. China's on my list.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'd like to go to Norway. Kristen's been many times because her dad is a Norwegian immigrant.
Now, have you been to Ireland?
Nope.
I'd like to go there too, yeah.
Yeah, Otto went to Ireland, or he went to Dublin. He said, he goes, you got to go to Dublin. I said, why? Because I'm Irish? He said, well, that. But he said, the food scene is phenomenal there. I said, really? You don't think of Ireland as being, he said, well, Dublin is. Yeah, what else did I like? I liked the Netherlands. Like, I hung out. It's small enough where you can really kind of, cover most of that country in about 4 hours. But went to both Amsterdam and Rotterdam, and they have a lot of international cuisine style restaurants that are pretty strong there. I'm trying to think, where else do I want to go? I want to go to Denmark someday. Been to the south of France. That was probably the most expensive steak and shake I've ever visited.
In the south of France?
In Cannes. Not wild, though. Like,
that's funny that you went to Steak and Shake.
Well, it's kind of like walking Rodeo. It's kind of like Rodeo Drive. The Rodeo Drive Riviera. It's like Rodeo Drive on the Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Hermes and, Louis Vuitton and all these high-end fashion names as you're walking down the street, and then a Steak and Shake. But it's the fanciest Steak and Shake sign storefront you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I love it's there. Same with McDonald's. So, anyway, those are some of the best U.S. cities to visit in 2022 and some of the best international cities to visit. And then finally, you've heard of red flags in relationships, but what are pink flags?
And what is the definition of pink flag?
Mm-hmm.
Is this like not as bad as red?
Not quite red.
Well, it's a term that's been around for a while. Cosmo talked about it in 2017, but it's trending again after Huffington Post just did a write-up. Basically, pink flags are subtle signs someone might not be a good fit for you. And your relationship is ultimately going to be doomed, but not always. Sometimes there are things that might seem like deal breakers, but it's really something you could work through if you wanted to. So whether something is a red flag or a pink flag is subjective. So it really comes down to deciding how you want to define it. Like, we had a second date update we ran early this morning it was at 5:15. It was one of the vintage ones that I think we did in 2021. And there was like a huge age difference. In fact, we'll run it again after 9 o'clock. But he met this woman on a plane, and they started dating shortly after that until she found out how old he was, and it turned out he was younger than her son.
Right.
I want to say, I think she was like 44 and he was 28 or something like that. It was less of an issue for him than it was for her. So you could argue that's a pink flag.
Yeah.
Because it's
kind of like the red flags are a hard pass, but then the pink flags are like, it could be an issue. How much effort am I willing to put in to make it so it isn't?
Yeah. Is the thing you don't like really a big deal?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it something you could change or get used to?
Right. Adjust.
So here are some of the examples they give. Changes in behavior, like they're not as affectionate as they used to be. It could be a red flag, but it doesn't always mean they're cheating or disinterested.
Mm-hmm.
Or here's another one. The other person never has an opinion on things like, where are we going to order food tonight? I don't care. What do you want to eat for dinner? I don't care. So you always have to take charge. Now, is that really something worth breaking up over, or could you just talk about it and work through it?
You know, for some people, that's a really big deal, because especially if they have a position at work where they spend all day making decisions, and by the time they're done with work, they just want to, let somebody else fly the plane for a little bit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Can't you please handle something on your own without me having to be in charge all the time?
Right. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Just make sure whatever decisions you're making are, things I like.
Exactly. I know.
Need my approval.
But I'll tell Kristen, she'll say, well, what do you want to eat tonight? Honestly, I'm good with just about anything except Indian food. Not that there's anything wrong with Indian food. I love Indian food. I don't know. That for me, that's a winter food.
Okay. So what's a summer food you won't eat in the winter?
Hot dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cheese conies are pretty good.
That's very true.
I don't know. Like a light summer salad. I'm probably not going to go to town on during the wintertime.
Yeah.
Tend to gravitate more toward the comfort foods. But yeah, that's my favorite is when they go, so what do you want to eat tonight? I honestly don't care. All right, let's get the Asian food. No, not that.
Yes.
All right. You want to get Italian? Not really.
Well,
I'm going to murder you.
Yeah, it's worse when the person says, well, what do you want for dinner? Oh, I don't care. I'm easy. And then
you find out they're not so
it's
easy.
like, okay, you want pizza? No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. I lived with someone like that.
I'm easy.
It got to the point where it was like, okay, I'm going to go get a cheeseburger. Do you want something?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
And then when you come back with your cheeseburger, can I have a fry?
Yeah.
That makes me crazy.
Yep.
Or no, I'll just have some of yours. No, you will not.
It's mine.
She'll have an order of fries too.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm not going to eat all that.
I'm sure
Well,
Chris.
you don't have to.
I'm sure Chris thinks that all the time because he'll order a Coke every once in a while at a restaurant. And I don't drink a lot of pop, but there's something about just I'll have a sip. I don't ask anymore. I just take the glass and have my sip.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's like, oh, get your own Coke.
All right, here's another one. This is really interesting. Mismatched love languages. All right, we're talking about pink flags versus red flags, where pink flags are, maybe, they could be a big deal, but it really depends on how much of a big deal you're going to make of it. And one of them is mismatched love languages, like one of you shows your love through physical touch. Fritch is a hugger and a snuggler. And she talks about all the time how, if you're sleeping in a bed with her, she's gone on the record with this
you're
many
not
times.
revealing anything.
Right. That you can't like hang on your side of the bed. Like she wants to cuddle. And she's a hugger. So maybe, you show your love through physical touch like Fritch, and the other does it with acts of service like making coffee every morning. Or, I don't know, fixing stuff around the house or working on a project that, he's really doing it for you. He built you a she shed.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is you have to know your partner's love language. I don't think you have to have the same one, but you have to understand it. And then, if they are somebody that it's physical touch and your service, you just need to make it a point to hug them.
Yeah.
And when the other person is the service, then you're the hugger, then you need to thank them for their acts of service because you understand that that's their way of showing you that they love you.
I know a woman who is now divorced. I would say she is a nurturer, a helper, smooth her over.
caretaker.
Yeah, very maternal. Mm-hmm. And her ex-husband, his love language was money.
Money, buying her presents. He would buy her gifts.
He was pretty like emotionally unavailable, you know, kind of absent. And you know, if they got into a fight or something, he would never say sorry, but he would buy her a car.
So he did say he was sorry, jewelry. Just with stuff.
That was his love language.
Yeah.
I'm like, so why didn't that work out?
Yeah, what's the problem there?
I guess that didn't work for her. Yeah. But for some people, that wouldn't be a red flag. You know, some people could work their way through that, I suppose. Yeah. And that's the whole premise around pink flags versus red flags. Pink flags aren't always deal breakers, but you also shouldn't ignore them, or they could fester and grow into a real problem if you don't resolve it.
I know multiple women who have been married for a long time, 10, 15, 20 years or more. And one of their biggest complaints about their husband is that they don't talk about their feelings and their emotions and their thoughts. And when they were younger, it wasn't that big of a deal because, nobody really did. But as they've gotten older, and I'm like, has he always been like that? Yeah, he's always been like, did you think that he would change? Yeah, I really thought that at some point in life he would be willing and open to talking about how he's feeling about things, but he just never does. I mean, they're looking for that deeper connection. And it's just
when
not
you're with
there.
someone for such a long time, there's got to be room for growth and change. It can't just stay the same the whole time.
Right. You hope.
Yeah.
And that you grow in the same direction.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little concerned when Kristen and I became official. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, how's this going to go? Because I love to travel, but our travel style is so different because she likes tropical beach vacations and I'm more like, I want to go to New York. I want to go to Paris. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I want to lay on a beach in Fiji, for maybe a day or two, but beyond that, I tend to get really bored. So how's this going to work? And over time, and I hate to say this because I almost think it leads women to believe that you can change a man, but I have found myself way more chill on the vacation front where I'm actually quite happy to be hanging out in a tropical climate on a beach. I probably won't be sunbathing all that time and just laying out by the pool necessarily, but I can make that work. Like we found a way to make that work where you lay on the beach all you want. I might hang with you for a while, but I'm also maybe going to go parasailing or do my own thing, go snorkeling or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So there are ways you can kind of work around it. Hey, look at that. 12 years so far.
12 years and counting.
Yeah, because I'm the same a-hole I was then.
In a lot of ways.
But I used to work through most of it. Craig is looking for a second date update with Allie. Hi, Craig. How are you?
I'm good. Morning.
So you want to tell us how you met Allie and how the first date went? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, the first date was great. I met Allie on Tinder and was just, immediately attracted to her pictures and her profile and everything like that. And so I set up a date. We went for beers and, got along, went back to my place, and that's sort of like my thing.
So say it again. I'm sorry. You went and had beers, and did you say you did go back to your place?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
And going back to my place is sort of my thing. Like, I don't go to the girl's house.
Oh, I see. You want them to come back to
space.
your place.
Is that because you get tired after and you just want to go to sleep and stay asleep and not have to travel in the morning?
Yes.
There's plenty of good reasons. That's a good one for sure.
Okay.
I've got a nice bed. Like, why not take advantage of it?
But then what happens if you want to kick? That's a double-edged sword, though, because then what if they don't leave?
Oh, yeah.
Are you good at kicking them out?
I mean, I wouldn't say kicking them out, but yeah, I mean, there's usually like a hookup, but it doesn't always go, to full staying over sex. That's, you can kind of wrap things up if you want to.
Okay. Because I was just going to say the advantage of being at their place is that you can bail any time, but.
Yeah, that hasn't been a problem. And I was excited this time because, she's hot.
Yeah.
And So I was glad that things progressed. And, yeah, I mean, hot, like, great smile, blonde hair, not too skinny. And the date went well, too. Like, we have a lot in common. The conversation flowed. We both love being outdoors. I love hiking and biking, and she's into all that stuff. And we were even talking about, like, future dates. We could do Hocking Hills or going to Kings Island, stuff like that. I guess what I'm saying is it wasn't just, I mean, she's hot, but it wasn't just that. Like, we had a lot in common, and like the conversation rolled, and the sex was good. The next morning, I gave her a kiss. I said I'd call her. She said okay, and I haven't heard anything. I've called her. I called her the next day, and then I called her after that, and just haven't heard anything.
Okay. So when you realized it didn't look like she was going to call you back, and you thought about it, and you were racking your brain, did you come up with any possible conclusions?
No, it's making me crazy. I mean,
you were that sure.
Well, if getting beers didn't go well, she wouldn't have come back. And if that didn't go well, she wouldn't have stayed the night. And,
right.
I mean, they were talking about bailing. She could have bailed at any time, and she didn't. So
yeah. It's true.
It's making me crazy.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello. Can we speak to Allie, please?
Yeah, this is Allie.
Allie, it's Jeff, Jen, Fritch, and Tim at Q102. How are you this morning?
Jeff and Jen?
From the radio show. How are you?
Yeah, no, I know exactly who you guys are.
Okay. Well, we got you on speakerphone. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Morning.
Hi.
You got a few minutes?
Yeah. What is, yeah, definitely.
Well, you're kind of legendary around here.
Oh, boy. Okay. What did I do?
Well, the word on the street is that you are smoking hot.
Well, thank you.
Have a great personality, fun to be around, up for doing all kinds of fun stuff, and for whatever the reason, you've decided not to return any of Craig's messages.
Oh, my God. This is like the second date update, right?
It is the second date update. And Craig reached out to us, and he had this wonderful night with you, and he thought for sure you guys would be getting together again soon, at the very least. And you haven't responded to any of his texts or messages, and he's got nothing.
There's a reason why. Trust me.
There is a reason why?
Oh, yeah. I'm guessing he, did not tell you the whole story, because otherwise, I mean, this guy is a real piece of work, let me tell you.
Oh.
I got to hear this.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was leaving his house the next morning after a night of totally forgettable sex. And as I'm leaving, he made me take the morning after pill.
What?
Yeah,
What do you mean
that,
he made you take the morning after pill?
Okay, not just that. He had a stash of them in his drawer in his kitchen right next to his forks and knives. And he took one out and put it in his hand, and he handed it to me with a glass of orange juice. Like it was Tylenol.
What?
Well, did he tell you what it was? Did you know at the time what you were taking, or did he try to pass it off like it was a multivitamin or something?
No. He was very upfront about what it was, and I was just in complete shock and did not know what to do. It was so out of left field, and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy, but obviously, I had the thought that I sure as don't want to end up pregnant with this kid, so I took it right then and there.
Wow.
So you did take it.
Yeah, and then I got the hell out of there. I mean, I've never heard of a guy doing such a thing like this. It's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. So he had a whole stash of
I'm
them.
being smart.
What'd he say?
He said he was being smart. Craig, go ahead.
You say I'm being crazy. I'm being smart. What are you talking about?
I mean, I guess you could call that smart, but it just really felt like I was like in some sort of like a factory or something. Like it was just so out of left field, and it just felt like inconsiderate. Like this happens to him all the time. Like seriously.
Yeah, like you have a whole stash. How many do you keep in the drawer? How often are you bringing women over to spend the night and then giving them pills?
I wasn't even aware, this is how little I know about the morning after pill, that was an over-the-counter medication.
I think that's a recent development.
I would say in the last year or two.
Oh, is that
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Inconsiderate. I'm the one paying for it. You just said you didn't want to have my kid. Well, there you go. You're welcome. That was pretty considerate.
Oh, whoa.
What made
you
you,
see what I'm
okay, why
saying?
did you decide, it's the first time I've ever heard of a man having a stash of morning after pills in a drawer in his kitchen that he hands out to women as they leave their play. So I'm assuming that there was birth control that was used of some sort. Has something happened to you? Or how did you come up with the idea to have these pills and what is the inspiration for doing it this way?
Do you use do you use condoms and stuff while you're hooking up?
Always use a condom, yeah.
Okay.
But not to brag, I'm good at getting women pregnant. I mean, even with a condom, it's happened a couple times.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're doing this because you've had enough experience to scare the crap out of you that you don't want it to happen again.
Yeah, I don't want it to happen. I don't need to be a dad right now. And, talking about like, oh, well, how much sex are you having and all that stuff. We both met up on Tinder and we both went back to a bedroom. So are we saints? I don't know. I'm just thinking ahead.
What would you have done if she said, no, dude, I'm not taking that?
She has a choice. I mean, I'm not a pill pisser, but you heard it. She said she wanted to take it. So there you go.
Dang.
You're all coy about it now.
Yeah, I mean, it was shocking. Like, I don't know how other girls handle this or if they talk to you after you hand them a pill like this, but it just felt so inconsiderate and calculated. Like, I'm not opposed to the morning after pill, but just the way it was, like,
delivered.
It just felt like, I don't know, like seeing that stash there, that this was just like something you do all the time. I don't know. It's just weird.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They're not cheap, right?
It's like $50, I think, something like
Per
that.
pill? For real?
Well, I looked it up online, and it says that like the Plan B one step, you can get it on Walgreens.com for $49.99.
Isn't it even like branded as like emergency?
Yeah, it does say that on there. It says emergency contraceptive.
Oh, man.
Reduces chance of pregnancy after unprotected SEP.
Well, thank you for pointing out that it's generous that I pay for it.
That is, especially if you have a whole stash. How often are you bringing women back to your place where you need like a stash?
I'm dating.
Seriously.
I mean,
You're doing your thing. All right.
Is that the whole point of this?
Have you had like what
It's
is the general reaction? What reaction do you usually get from women?
I mean, I haven't gotten a lot of feedback on it.
Most of them just take the pill and say, "Hey, thanks so much."
Yeah, I
swallow
usually
it
never
and go.
see him again.
I was
going
going to say the same thing. They probably just never talk to you again.
Well, now, I mean, this is helpful, but I'm not going to stop doing it.
Okay.
I think it's the tact is maybe what is off-putting about this.
Definitely. I mean, I can understand why he would want to use them, but that's usually something you would talk about. Like, hey, how would you feel about doing this? Just to be extra careful. Like, it was just out of nowhere. Like, oh, here's your orange juice, and by the way, take this.
Yeah.
I literally did not know what to say and just got out of there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
All right,
And
guys.
orange juice isn't cheap either.
Oh, geez, old Pete's, dude. Come on.
I'm serious, though. Everyone coming down on me about this.
I mean, come
I'm
on,
just asking the questions.
I'm not saying,
this is all new to me. I'm just asking.
Fear does crazy things to people. If he has busted through condoms in the past and gotten other women pregnant, I'm assuming you terminated those pregnancies because you said you don't need to be a father now. So I'm assuming you aren't already a father. I would guess that would freak you out a bit. And if this is the best solution that you've been able to come up with, okay. Maybe it's in the presentation that is an issue. Maybe before you sleep with women, you could say, hey, listen, I have superpower sperm. I just want you to know that even if we use a condom, there's a good shot I could knock you up here. But don't worry. I have morning after pills in the house, and I would like for you to take one before you leave. If
You
you're
think
okay
that's
with that,
better?
we can proceed. If you're not,
Back.
maybe you should head on home.
Boy, I really want to have sex with you right, now.
But if we're going to be, we're
After
already-
that conversation.
Well, you know what? She probably regrets having sex with him after the next morning.
That's
being
why she
handed a
didn't call
pill.
him back.
Right.
That is a conversation that I'm sure probably should have taken place. And I would encourage communication,
Yes.
like responsible communication like that. It's just not very romantic.
No,
or
it's
moving.
not. I get it.
Okay, it's
Yeah, that
not,
little
but it's
speech
also
is more
like
birth
not very
control than the birth
romantic. Like the
control.
next morning, like things were going great,
That's so
and that
true.
just killed it.
And are there
like-
with I freak out about medications. Like, are there side effects?
There are side effects. It totally like messes with your cycle, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, okay, if this was just a hookup and that happened, fine. But like, if you're really interested in me and you wanted a relationship with me, that was not the way to end it. Like, to just all of a sudden, oh, here's your orange juice in the morning after pill. Like, yeah, if it's just a hookup, fine. But if you're trying to find a relationship, I highly suggest, Craig, that you don't do that again. And maybe like work it in a little smoother, not just handing it over and letting the girl see your stash. It just feels gross.
Other than that moment, were you feeling like, hey, I could see him again, see where this goes?
Absolutely. But that was a moment that like can't be taken back. Like even my girlfriends who I told after the date, they were like, wow, you dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Let us know when you meet the woman of your dreams and how it all went down. Genuinely, I'm not being a smartass. This is fascinating to me.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that too.
Craig, thank you for coming on Second Date Update, even though you probably regret it at this
I
point.
know.
Yeah. I have more regrets than she does about our date. But listen, it's